Audrey has a whole bolt of fabric that she doesn't know what to do with. Judy's fabric has a story to tell, and Yvonne can't decide what colors to use. Let's help them out. Hi, it's Fran Morgan with Fabric Café, and I'm your Fabric Matchmaker. Do you have a fabric that you love, but just can't seem to figure out what colors to put with it? Have you tried multiple fabrics and none of them seem to work? Today, all of our participants had that same problem. Let's look at what I picked out for them and take a closer look at why I picked the colors that I did. So Audrey sent in our first fabric, and it is so pretty. We have all of these medallions and vines and leaves and flowers in really rich, bold colors. And this is a nice size print too. So we're gonna need a big block, and we've got some gold detailing around each of the medallions and leaves and flowers. It's really a spectacular fabric. Let's see what Audrey has to say about it. Dear Fran, I want to tell you how much I enjoy you and your mother's videos. They are fun and very helpful. Enclosed is a piece of fabric I got several years ago at an estate sale of a woman who had been a very ambitious and talented quilter. I loved it so much, I bought the whole bolt. I've taken it out of my stash more times than I can remember. Only return it to the pile. I just haven't been able to find the right coordinating fabrics. Help! I need some assistance. Open my eyes to some possibilities. Audrey, I think we have some fun stuff for you. Let's go check out the quilt. Audrey, we chose to put your fabric in the Valor pattern, and this is such a great pattern. It should be on your go-to list. There's a couple of reasons why. First, in the fabric number 1 position here, you're going to be able to put a directional fabric, which is fabulous. I know it always works. Now your fabric, Audrey, is not, but it's still going to look great in this. The reason why is because the secondary block here has a little peekaboo of the fabric as well, so it's really going to balance it well across the surface of the quilt. And this secondary block is super easy to put together. It's kind of like a 9-patch made with little strip assemblies, so it's going to go together in no time at all. The other thing I really like about this is we have a border with our fabric number 1, which is going to be your fabric, Audrey, and I think it's going to really help frame it and give it that time that it needs and that pop, coordinating it with our blocks. Now, Audrey, we have put your fabric in the number 1 position because we really want to showcase it. It is really a gorgeous fabric, and it is going to go in the middle of this block here, as well as the little bit in the alternate block. Then we have a nice big border here, so it's really going to be shown off. Now, I have paired it with a very pale purple for our number 2. And this purple is really cool because it actually has like a leaf outline on it. It's very tone on tone. It's very subtle, but I think it works perfect for a number 2 because it's not boring. It gives you that little bit of texture. So our light purple is going to go in the background here where you see the white and just a little bit on the border here. And then for our number 3, we have chosen a really great textured purple. Now this purple has many shades in it. It kind of goes lights and dark, but it also has a nice dark background that pulls the dark background from your fabric in. This purple is going to border this block here and then the little bits on your alternate block. And then we have some on the binding. That's going to ground it all together and pull it together. Okay, now I chose purple for your kit, but honestly, you could have chosen a dark blue with a light blue background. You could have chosen a raspberry, kind of a dark raspberry color as your number 3, and then a paler one for the number 2, or even gone white. Now your background on your fabric is a little bit navy. It has some really dark points that look like black and then some lighters that look like blue. You could have used that blue. I mean, there's so many different directions that you could have gone with this. The main thing that I wanted to focus on is to keep the 2 and 3 fabric a little bit more simple, just textures, so that your fabric can really shine. That was the most important. I chose purple because I just liked it and I thought it worked really well with the purple tones in your fabric, but you certainly could have done some others as well. The other thing about your fabric is it is a big print, so we needed a larger area to put your fabric. So I think it works great Really love it. Now, you're probably asking, why did you not choose green? Because there's so much green in this fabric. I didn't choose greens because I think greens can be a little finicky. And sometimes they go yellow, sometimes they go blue, and they're a little bit all over the place. And I have a tendency to steer clear a little bit of greens somewhat. So I wanted to take these other really bold colors because you have so many in here you could have chosen. And I think the purple works. Let's see an image so you can see what I mean. Wowie kazowie. I love your fabric in that nice big bordered block. Love it on the border. It frames it and you can really see all of the movement in your fabric. I think the number 3 does not compete with your fabric because of course we don't want our eye to go directly to the number 3. We want it to go to your fabric. It works here. It's well balanced. It has that pop of color in those blocks. Just think it turned out beautiful. So Audrey, hope you love it. And for participating, we are going to be sending you 1 yard of the number 2 and the number 3 fabric, as well as the book, Make It Patriotic with 3-Yard Quilts. And this has the Valor pattern in it. So thank you so much. And let's check out what we're going to do for everyone else. So we have a beautiful kit here that was inspired by Audrey's kit, and I love, love, love it. We've really highlighted the purples in this. We also have some greens and some blues. And partly the reason why I thought this was a great inspiration is because all of these leaves come together and it has all that kind of round circular movement to the leaves, which I really, really like. Now, this is a directional fabric, but it works in this pattern beautifully. So this is our focus. It's going to go right in the center here, and you're going to see all those beautiful colors and all those leaves moving. We're going to show you an image in a second. It's so cool. Then in the alternate block, just in this little bit here, and then a nice big border showing all of that rich jewel tone color that is in our focus fabric. Now we have paired it with the same number 2 fabric. This is very cool. It's very subtle. It's that light purple that has that leaf pattern on it. It'll go in the background everywhere the white is here. And then of course our really cool texture with our purple and black will be our border and in our alternate block on these little spots here. It's going to really balance it well and give it a good pop. I think this is a gorgeous quilt and gorgeous fabric in this quilt. I love all of the color in that focus fabric, and being on the border makes all the difference because you can see how it kind of goes from one color to the next, which is so super cool. This is a directional fabric and you see how beautifully it works here. You don't have to worry about it. The pattern is written so you're going to be able to make it just like this. All right, the kit information on this is Leaf Magic, and it is our Valor pattern for Make It Patriotic. Now our next fabric was sent in by Judy, and Judy has sent us this green fabric that's quite lovely and very different. And I'm gonna tell you, Judy, you stumped me just a little bit. It took me just a little while. But we have a couple of shades of greens in here. We have some really dark pinks kind of to red, and then we've got some browns in here. Very, very interesting fabric. Let's see what Judy has to say about this. I truly enjoy all your videos and tutorials. They're such a joy to watch. As I thought about sending this piece of fabric to the matchmaker, a little story began forming in my mind, told from the fabric's point of view. Here it is. I don't remember when or how I arrived at my owner's house. It was a long time ago. I've often felt forgotten and a bit out of place. I know I don't have the charm or beauty of other fabrics, but I believe that with the right companions, I could really shine. My owner has taken me off the shelf many times, trying to match me with others, but nothing ever worked. She'd sigh and say, "No, you just don't blend." And back on the shelf I'd go, like a fabric in timeout. But then one day, she picked me up with new excitement, cut a small piece, and said the words I'd waited to hear. Fabric Café Matchmakers. My heart soared. Maybe there's still hope for me to finally be paired with 2 perfect friends and become something cozy, comforting, and full of love. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I trust your judgment completely. Well, let's see what we have for Judy. Now, Judy, we put your fabric into our Traditions pattern. This is a great pattern for several reasons. One, we are alternating blocks here with a star block and just a nice big bordered block. This area here is going to really show off a big focus print, and it can be directional. So if you have something that's directional, that's a larger print, this is the pattern to use. Now our secondary block, our star here, uses all three fabrics, our fabric 1, 2, and 3. And what's great about that is it kind of distributes the fabric around the quilt so that the quilt looks balanced and aesthetically pleasing, which is really important. And I love that this has that traditional, homey feel. You can use all different kinds of fabrics in it, Christmas fabrics, large floral fabrics, really bold fabrics. It's going to work in a lot of different things. Now, Judy, I have paired your fabric with 2 others and placed your fabric in the number 3 position. So this is a little bit different for me. I've gone out on a limb here and I have chosen some absolutely gorgeous Christmas fabric for our focus. So our focus fabric has a red background. We have holly, we have pine branches, we have mistletoe, all kinds of different berries and greenery and all different shades of green. That's very important, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. This is a beautiful print. It's going to go in our nice big block in our focus position, as well as on the points in our alternate block on our star. For our number 2 fabric, we went with this really kind of a nice warm beige. It has some brightness to it, which I think was very important, but it contrasts very well with our focus fabric, picking up some of the berry colors, and it's going to give us a nice background. That is going to go everywhere you see the white. Now here comes your fabric, Judy. This is your green, and this is going to be our number 3 fabric. It is going to border the focus fabric, and it's going to also be a point of our star in our alternate block and on the border of the quilt. Let's talk about why and the process I went through to find the right pairings for this fabric. So first, I was stumped. I'm going to tell you, I was a little bit stumped. I was going, okay, what can I do with this? Because, you're thinking floral, you're thinking all these different things. And I tried many different things. And you're right, it was a little bit of a challenge. I had an image of it on the screen and I blew it up so I could really see it close. And I started realizing that it had those red tones in there. And I thought, I think I can capitalize on that. So we have different shades of green, a little bit of red. So whenever I started looking, I ran across this pattern, Traditions. And I said, I could put a Christmas fabric with it and pull the red out of your fabric as well as the greens. Because this gorgeous traditional fabric here in our focus position had so many different colors of green in it that it worked. And it blends beautifully. I just thought it was perfect. Now, I don't think your fabric, Judy, is actually a Christmas fabric, but I think it worked so well in this position. Whenever I look at it in the quilt, I think this is perfect. We have a beautiful green border, all of our red in our focus fabric, that great background with all of the greens in it, blends together and really coordinates well. Now, one of the other things that I did struggle with a little bit was the number 2 fabric. Because this print and these textures were a little warmer and a little bit more traditional, I originally picked a little bit darker number 2, more of a darker beige, thinking that that would give it the extra warmth that it needed, because I could see this by a fireplace at Christmas time or all winter, really. And I thought, okay, I think I need a darker one, but it didn't work. I didn't want it to be muddy or gloomy. I really wanted it to have that brightness and that cheerfulness for a great holiday season, and I think it works. So that's the reason why I went with a little bit lighter number 2 fabric. Now, Judy, for participating today, and I hope this works well, and I hope that your fabric is so happy with its 2 friends, and it gets off the shelf, and it takes a very prominent space in your house. For participating, I will be sending you 1 yard of the number 1 and number 2 fabric, as well as the book Make It Christmas that has the traditions pattern in it. So we have something great for everyone else, another beautiful Christmas kit. We have used the same focus fabric in this kit because I really like this. It's got the reds and the greens, a little bit of the creams in there. Such a beautiful, beautiful fabric. Going to be showcased in this nice big block, as well as our stars here. Now for this particular quilt, I decided to go a little bit darker on that beige, and I'm going to explain that in just a minute. So we have a little bit more of a warmer beige, a little bit darker, with a kind of a linen texture to it. That is going to go in our background here. And then for our number 3, we've got some really great pine branches. We have, once again, those 2 tones of green. However, this green is much darker than what Judy had. So that is going to go everywhere, bordering the blocks as well as the points in the star and on the border. Now, because this number 3 fabric is darker than what Judy had, that allowed us to go a little bit darker with the number 2 fabric, keeping that really kind of old world feel, that old traditional feeling of these kinds of fabrics. I think it worked really well because the green was darker. If your green was lighter, I would go with a lighter number 2 to keep it bright like we showed you earlier. This quilt turned out so, so pretty. This focus fabric is such a statement piece in this quilt, and I love the way that the stars are made with all of the fabrics. I like that some of the points are green, some are red, and then that wonderful background, that warmth, all framed beautifully with our green there. I think it turned out really, really great. All right, the name of this quilt kit is Christmas Story. And once again, we're using the traditions pattern for Make It Christmas with 3-yard quilts. Now, our next fabric was sent in by Yvonne. And Yvonne, oh my, this fabric is gorgeous. It has the most brilliant color to it, all on a black background. We have these beautiful florals here, some roses, it looks like maybe carnations or poppies, and so many different varieties of flowers here. And it's just striking on the black background. And I was so excited when we received it and I got to work with it. Can't wait to show everybody. Okay, let's find out what Yvonne has to say about this fabric. I fell in love with this fabric shortly after I started quilting in 2019. In my mind, I thought it would be easy to match with green and purple, but I have not been able to find the right tones to match. I'm hoping that you will help. I'll be able to get the proper colors to complete a quilt sometime soon. Well, Yvonne, I know what you mean. It's such a special fabric. You certainly don't want to pick the wrong thing. So let's go check out the pattern that we used. Now, I chose the Modern Charm pattern for Yvonne's fabric. Yvonne, your fabric is going to look gorgeous in this. I cannot wait to share the image. We've done some neat things here. So of course your fabric is going to go in the number 1 position. This is a nice size block, so it's going to be able to accommodate that beautiful floral that you have. Now we've alternated with this churn dash block, which I think has got that traditional feel. It's going to give some extra interest in that alternate block, and I think it's going to work really well with the companion fabrics that we chose for you. So let's get this on the table and share with everyone how gorgeous this is. Your fabric is just gorgeous. I can't keep saying that because I look at it and I was like, it's so pretty. All right, I've put it here in this great big block, so it's totally showcased all by itself. It's going to be gorgeous. Now, I have chosen to pair it with this textured blue that has some highs and some lows, some lights and some darks in the blues, but it also has just a little bit of purple in it so that it kind of brings a little bit of the purple to the forefront, but doesn't compete. I don't want to do that. So we've got our light blue. It's going to go in the background here, a little bit on the border. And then for our number 3, we've done another texture because, of course, I don't want to put more prints with it to compete. This is gorgeous. It picks up all of the blue tones. And this blue does have just a bit of purple undertone, but not a lot. So it coordinates beautifully. This is going to be our churn dash in this block here, as well as a little bit on the border. I know that you had mentioned that you were trying to match purple and green with it. And why did I not do that? Well, I felt like that first, greens, I think I've mentioned this, greens can be a little funny. They go yellow, they go blue, they go all over the place. And so sometimes I steer away from trying to match a fabric with green just because it doesn't have the same exact tones. So that's okay, they can be on their own. I picked the blue because I felt like that the blue was such a beautiful color, and I was able to find that number 2 fabric with just a little bit of purple. So whenever this goes into the quilt, you're gonna see that the purple becomes really dominant. So you see the blue, the number 2 and number 3 are kind of monochromatic, and it's gonna make those purple flowers just pop and stand out. Now you can see that the churn dash is made with the darker blue in the piecing there with that light background. That stands on its own just a little bit, but because there's so much blue in your fabric, it kind of coordinates it. So whenever you look at it, you see those little pops of purple, which I think are so gorgeous in your fabric, and it just gives it interest. So what happens is your eye is so drawn into your focus fabric to see the purple and the greens, and you're going, oh wow, what else is in there? You really want to look at it. And that's what we want our focus fabric to do. All right, for participating today, Yvonne, I am going to be sending you 1 yard of the number 2 and 1 yard of the number 3 fabric to match yours, as well as the book Quick as a Wink, and this will have the Modern Charm pattern in it. Now, Yvonne has inspired us to put this kit together, and we got so close to her fabric, but not quite there, but this is actually a very gorgeous fabric. Something a little different about our focus fabric here, has little touches of metallic on it, which is kind of cool. Still the purples and the blues and the greens in this on a beautiful black background. It's going to go in our big block here so it can really be showcased. We've paired it with the same number 2 fabric, that light blue with a little bit of purple accents in it. This will be our background here. And then for our number 3, that same gorgeous dark blue with just little bits of purple undertones there, and that will be our churn dash and a little on the border. Wow, I love this quilt and how it came together. I think it's just such a gorgeous balance with that floral across the surface, evenly distributed, with that churn dash giving us that little bit of extra interest. And you know, just like Yvonne's, that purple is what draws my eye into the quilt. Because all the other colors are kind of the same, it's that one that stands out. So let me get you the kit information on this. It is called Violet Romance. It is our Modern Charm pattern from our Quick as a Wink book. Now I want to take a moment and give a big shout out to Margaret. She participated in our Matchmaker 34 episode, and we put her fabric as the focus fabric in the ornaments pattern. So her fabric is that printed in the middle there. I think this quilt turned out gorgeous, Margaret. And wow, look how perfect everything matches up. It is so, so good. A great job. So thank you to everyone who participated today, and thank you for sending in your pictures of your finished quilts. It is such a joy to see them. If you have participated in Matchmaker and would like to send us a picture of your finished quilt, send it to matchmaker@fabriccafe.com. If you would like more tips on how to select and match your fabrics, then be sure to watch the video that pops up. It's Fran Morgan, your Fabric Matchmaker.